Welcome to Chaos Frogs, I'm Frank and I've been busy painting Death Guard for the last 2 weeks and longer. So the last 2 weeks I've finished one Plague Marine at least every day, and I have a lot of Contagion conversion I want to show you today, so let's begin. I'm using the Lord Felthius model here for my base. He's already been built. I got that, I think, from a friend, and it was already built. I don't remember exactly. But he's on a too small base, and there's some other things we do. So let's look at the model. Okay, first of all, what do I like about the model? I kind of like that slime ball he has here. And I love the cloak. The cloak is, I think, the best feature of the model. So I will leave the cloak. And I pretty much... that backpack is pretty cool too, so... I like the little smoke. So what am I getting rid of? I mean, the scythe is okay, but nah. I'm getting rid of the scythe. I'm getting rid of that old smiley face here. And these ugly spikes. And obviously the base, because the base is too small. And also that strange plate on the base. Is that just... stuck in? One of the feet is also on that plate. First of all, let's get rid of this and get a 50 mil base, because he's on a 50 mil base now, and then get rid of that ugly plate on the feet. I really don't like that at all. And then let's see, maybe I need a saw for that. Yeah, that's probably best. Okay, let's try to snip off a little bit more here with my heavy duty pliers. Okay, and now maybe I can do this with a saw. Still not quite fully gone. Let's try to... No, if I saw it even closer, yeah, I saw it. I saw the limit in the foot. It's fine. I will try to get the rest of... Maybe I just sand that off. And this one, the other side... The other side is not stuck on there at all. Okay. And then the other side, I will try to shave this off with my knife here. Thought about doing that with sandpaper, but it's fine. Whoa! Okay. I think that's alright. I had pretty big problems with the base. I put super glue and baking soda on the base, and then it didn't quite stick to the base, and I thought, yeah, more super glue will fix it, but no, it didn't. It broke off again. and then I did a lot of fiddling around with it, but it was just not sticking to it. So I said I have to use green stuff, and you can do that to fill the gaps in the feet, and then leave a little bit excess sticking out, and that adheres to the base, then it makes it stick much easier. Because if I cut stuff off here, then I might peel him off the base again, and I don't want to do that. So first of all, this hand can stay. I will get rid of the scythe, and I have one from the original Lord of Contagion here. I have that nice axe here, and I will give this guy the axe. So I will have to cut off the scythe here, and I will try to make that as non-destructive as possible, because I want to use that for another conversion in the future as well. So yeah, that looks pretty good. And then these spikes, they have to go. I don't like them at all. They're way too big and way too random. So I'll cut them off. All of them. Yeah, get rid of them. Big one here as well. Okay, they can go in the bits box. Maybe I can use them in the future for something. Maybe not, who knows. And then I will clean this stuff up, but also that face, man. That old ugly head has to go as well. Oh man, how am I ever gonna get this out? And that took quite a while to carve the remains of that head out. I could have probably just cut the helmet that I want to use off and then set it in, but I went with the other way to do it, just to carve out everything from the old head and then cut away as little as possible from the helmet to fit it inside the cavity. And yeah, I drilled in with my knife, with my drill bit. I cut it out with my pliers, and I did so many things until I had that result I wanted. And I damaged that trim in the front a little bit as well, but I said I don't care, it's Nurgle, so it's probably corroded, so I'll just rust that up in the end. But I managed to set in the head, and I think it's a pretty good result. Yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with that result. I have to let that cure and then clean it off. Like there's a little bit of these little wisps of the glue and everything, so I have to clean that off and then should be fine. And I will use these nail art beads here for my little pox, and they are really cool because they are half spheres, so you can easily stick them somewhere. So I just take some sprue glue again, and if you don't know how to make that, you just take some Tamiya extra thing and then put some sprues into that, and that solves them. They go into a solution, and then you have this slimy stuff here. So what I will do now is I'll take my knife and then skewer one of these beads on my knife, and then I will press it into that liquid stuff here, and I will just blend it in nicely. And I do some variety of sizes, like a bigger one up here maybe. Isn't that disgusting? And then something that was supposed to be so beautiful on beautiful nails is now a little pustule on a disgusting Nurgle guy. Oh, isn't that exciting? And then I did a bunch more of those. So I put some more sprue glue, more nail art beads in, just to obscure that area where I cut off these ugly growth spikes that came out of the back. And that also, I think the spikes, they take off the visual interest from the main thing, the face of the miniature, and that ball he's holding up and his weapon. So I think the nail art beads that will be pustules are a little bit more subtle, and they will be yellow in the end. That could detract from the model a little bit more. But nah, I think I think it should be fine. You will get some nice red eyes, and then the focus will be on the face of the model. That looks pretty good and pretty disgusting, as we want it. Okay. So next step is the axe. And I will just cut it off here. and then cut off. I think I want him to hold the axe like this, but I need to get rid of this hand here. So I will just cut off the handle here. And then I'll try to remove that hand without destroying anything. Yeah, like that. And I tried to put the axe straight on the hand, but it was way too short, so I had to put some more of the handle in between that. And there was a little bit a fiddly process here, and it broke off in the end, and then I had to pin it and add some more glue. But I managed to do it in the end, and I think the end result of the axe going like straight into that X scythe handle looks pretty good, and the cape has a little bit of a crease where the scythe handle is as well. That would have been a lot of conversion work to have him hold the axe in a different way, so that was much easier like that. And then it was just a matter of mixing some green stuff, putting it into the feet from the bottom with some super glue, and then put some super glue on the slate and press it in with the green stuff, so the green stuff does all the gluing you need. And then I spread some more super glue around it to make the feet stick properly, and then of course I broke the X off during that process, and I had to glue the X on again. And then later when I painted it, I broke the X off again, and yeah, I should have just pinned it straight away and just not try to do it with super glue, because with plastic glue, because the surface area that glues it is just not big enough, and it's just not gonna work at all ever. And then the axe stuck to the model for a while again, not for long, spoiler alert, but I started doing the base, spreading some clear glue around the base, and then I sprinkled some slate on there. Some bigger pieces I placed by hand, some just scattered on top of that, and yeah, just made it look like I wanted it to look like. Not everything covered with slate, and then I dropped it in a sand bath, and then I always like a clean base edge, so I wiped that off with my finger and dislodged some of the plates, and yeah, I had to fix that again, and then I got rid of the excess that was stuck somewhere on the model I didn't want to have sand on. And 40k needs some skulls, everybody knows that, so I have always on my bases there usually some skulls. On this size of model, usually 3 to 5, and I cut them in half using blue tack, so when I cut them in half, that nothing flies away, and I get the double the skull bang for my buck. I don't know, do you say it like that? I don't care. So cut it in half for some of them, and some of them I cut off the back part to make them look like they are sunken into the ground, and then while the transparent glue was still gluing, this was still like drying, I pressed some skulls with super glue into that, so it looks like they are stuck in there, and then it adheres pretty well. And the final ingredient for that to make this all of the sand stick is the spray coat with spray can at the end. And yeah, as you can see, that damn axe was broken off again, and I had to glue it back on again, and I got one of the skulls went awry, and I do that again, and blah blah blah. Yeah, just fixing all of my mistakes, and then I had to glue the model, the axis on the model again, and then I just set it to dry on my Tamiya bottle there, and yeah, that's about it.
Lords of Contagion are the most aggressive of Merc's champions. Their tactics are as brutal and blunt as they are effective, striding unharmed through torrents of enemy fire in the nigh-impregnable cataphractic blade. They sweep aside foes in violent bursts of gore, with their snarl-toothed and prorogued blades.
So my Lord of Contagion is built now, so I can get to painting, and I have to paint even more today. So write in the comments if you like him or not, and if you want to appease the algorithm god, click on the next video that has been hand selected by that god for you here, and click the frog if you want to subscribe and never miss a new video in the future about Death Guard and chaos stuff, and see ya.